Yeah, that was a really good episode. I enjoyed it right up until the very end, but we'll talk about it. So, first of all, I hope that the Reaper's plot is wrapped up. I think that's what they're doing, and I hope that that is the case. It looks that way. And I guess it it wrapped up in a pretty predictable way, if that's the case, with, everyone but Leah being dead. And I don't know, the whole thing just feels a bit perfunctory. Like, what was the point? You know, if Daryl had been the one to shoot her, or if Daryl had been the one to give the okay to Maggie to shoot her, or if he had to make some kind of decision or played some part in that to some degree, like that would have been more thematically impactful. It's just like, what was the whole point? Like, why have Daryl have this secret relationship just to bring her back, to have him play double agent and infiltrate this group? Why connect this group to Maggie just to bring, it was just trying to give Maggie something to do, but why involve Daryl? And I don't know, like I just really don't understand. I don't understand the point. And also, why not go back to Meridian then? Like, they took everybody out and they brought the supplies, but why not move everybody from Alexandria to Meridian? If Alexandria is so jacked that it's unlivable, or at least take, like the kids and some of the more vulnerable people and leave, some people to try to rebuild Alexandria or something. But, like, yeah, why not just go back to Meridian? So, I don't know. But anyway, I hope that the Reapers are done. I hope, I wouldn't be surprised if Leah pops up again, but I don't want to see her. I mean, I thought that she could be a really compelling character when she had that turn at the end of the last episode where I was like, oh boy, I was like rubbing my hands together like, oh, okay, she's going to be vicious and that's going to be exciting. Nope. Nope. So I'm just hoping that she's gone. I mean, like I said, I think Leah could have been a really interesting character, but they didn't want her to be. The writers didn't want her to be. So anyway. And I thought the actress did a really great job too. But, the writing just wasn't there. So anyway, but, I really did like everybody in this episode, especially, especially Gabriel and Maggie, who are not necessarily characters, like, they're characters that I have mixed feelings about, although I have come around on Gabe quite a lot lately. I love how complex he is and how much of a badass he is. But I enjoy his internal conflict, and I think that actor is so great at, like, letting us into his, internal world and his thoughts and feelings. And I just really think that he's a fascinating character. And since he's had this kind of crisis of faith, it's just made him so interesting. And Maggie, I didn't necessarily like what they were doing with her this season, but this episode, I thought she was great. I thought she was a savage. I loved how she was kicking ass. I was really surprised that she just took everybody out at the end. That's probably the smartest thing to do, It's just still shocking to see our people do something like that because we're the good guys. Mostly, usually, sort of, sometimes. But, I mean, so I guess probably shouldn't be surprised by that anymore, but I was. I do wish that she had, like, checked in with Daryl or something after that, like, just, I don't know, I would have liked a conversation or a nod or something just to know that they were okay, because she did shoot somebody who was close to Daryl at some point. I don't know. Maggie and Daryl are supposed to have this really strong friendship, which I really never felt in prior seasons. But I feel like since Maggie came back, they've been telling us that Maggie and Daryl have this really tight friendship. And so a little bit of acknowledgement would have been nice, I think. And I do wish that she would have thanked Negan for saving her. But at the same time, if I look at it from her point of view, fuck this guy, right? Like, I love Negan because he's fun and he's a great character. But from Maggie's perspective, I get it. Like, I really wouldn't want to thank the guy who murdered my husband either. Like, I don't care what he does. I don't give a shit, right? So I get it. I get it. But like, just as somebody who, really loves Negan, I was like, oh, can you thank the guy? Can you concede a little bit? But if you really think about it from Maggie's POV, like, no, like, I get it. So it's fine. But that beat at the end there where they wanted us to think that Negan was going to try to kill Maggie was so fucking stupid. It was so dumb, it made me mad. Because here's the thing. You're not going to put in all this character work. And I know that there's a big debate over whether or not Negan has been redeemed as a character. Sorry, the sprinklers just went on. It's a little loud. Whether or not Negan has been or is even capable of being redeemed as a character, blah, 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 whatever. However you feel about that. You can't deny that they're putting in a lot of work into that character, into Negan. So to fake us out, and I use the term loosely because I can't imagine anybody actually thought that he was going to try to kill Maggie. But to do that stupid fake out of, the ominous music and everything, like, no, you're not going to waste all the time and energy that you put into that character, into redeeming that character, whether or not you feel like it's been successful. They've still put in the work. You're not going to waste all of that in this moment. Like, it's just so dumb. I had the same problem with a character in well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a character in another one of my favorite shows where they put in seasons of work to redeem this character, and yet they still do all of this fake bullshit, making us think that he's gone evil again. And of course, no, he's not, because you're not going to put in that kind of effort into a character just to make them just go bad again, just to turn evil again. So it's just stupid. It's cheap. And I also felt like it was a cheap move at the end to skip 6 months and show us, Daryl rolling up to Alexandria in, Commonwealth armor and everything, and yeah, it's gotta be this way. And I'm just like, oh God, like to make us think that Daryl has gone to the dark side. Very much making me think of Star Wars there with their outfits. But yeah, to try to make us think that Daryl has gone to the dark side and he's coming to, bulldoze Alexandria or whatever. No, it's stupid and it's cheap. Why do that? It's dumb. Don't do it. So I do wonder though, if the next episode is going to be 6 months in the future or some amount of time in the future, is that just it for Alexandria? I'm not ready to say goodbye. I need to say goodbye to Alexandria, so I hope that that's not it for that set. And I don't know, I wanted to see a conversation about do we want to accept this offer and who wants to? Maybe some people don't go, and I hope that we don't just jump to the next episode and everybody's at the Commonwealth now and we don't you know, go on that ride with them, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like this episode had several really fun set pieces. I really liked the set piece in the basement, the flooded basement with Judith and Gracie. Of course, you know, the whistle came. I'd forgotten that he'd given her a whistle. So, you know, Chekhov's whistle. Like, of course, she's going to need the whistle. But I had forgotten about it. So, you know, that was cool. I love, love what a fucking badass. Like, everybody is so badass. And I love to see it. Oh, you know what? Speaking of badasses, I also appreciate that the Reapers were finally, like, in this episode, they were good fighters. Like, they were supposed to be these, like, ninjas, right? They would sweep in and you wouldn't even know that they were there. You know, they'd kill you before you even saw them. And, like, you know, there's all this, like, ooh, spooky, like, they were supposed to be so deadly and so, I don't know, whatever. And then once they became characters, again, I use the term loosely, but, you know, once they became characters, they no longer wore their masks. Like, their whole deal was wearing a mask. And I understand, like, if you're in your own community, you're not going to wear a mask. But, like, we never saw them in their mask. And we never saw these badass ninja fighting skills that they supposedly had. So it was cool when, you know, the Carver, I think was his name, when the one guy, it was like, you know, 3 against 1, and you think, oh, he's gonna get his ass handed to him, and then he kicks everybody else's ass. I was like, oh no, I appreciate that. I never actually thought that anybody was in danger, but I appreciated that they showed that, you know, okay, no, these Reapers are actually good fighters, because, you know, we hadn't seen that since like the second episode. So anyway, that was pretty cool. And Negan had a really nice moment there, a really badass moment, which I appreciated. I just love whenever any of our characters get to kick some ass. I just really enjoy it. In case you can't tell. Anyway, but yeah, you know, surprisingly, I wasn't very worried about Aaron, even though in general I am terrified for Aaron. I think like the general consensus is that everybody's pretty much afraid that Aaron is like either going to get, I won't spoil it, but there's somebody else's death from the comic book that people are thinking that he might be getting, because he's kind of taken on some of the characteristics of that character. And I think kind of in general, people are just sort of afraid that Aaron isn't going to make it through the season, and I am one of them. I agree. But I just really didn't think that they were going to kill him in this episode. Like, a character that big who's been around for that long, if you're going to take him out, you're going to do it in the final third. You're going to do it towards the very, very end. It would have been a big shocker. So, I wasn't too worried, but it was still just a really fun set piece and some really good action. There was a lot of really good action in this episode that I enjoyed a lot. I will say that as a Donnie shipper, I was a little underwhelmed by their reunion. I just wanted it to be a little bit more epic. And I don't know, like, all he said is, I have a lot of questions for you, which, fair. But I felt like he would have been more shocked because you know, nobody told him that Connie was back, and so he didn't know. And so to see her, I don't know, like, I guess I just wanted more. I just wanted a little bit more, but it was still very cute. It was very cute. So, and you know, it was so wild to see these sets and to see these locations, having been there myself, having visited. I was there for a week back in October. And so I was all over Alexandria, not inside the gates, but all around. So there were 3 different gates that I saw, and they showed us 2 gates in this episode. The one where the Commonwealth show up, and then the one where Daryl and the Commonwealth show up. Those are 2 different gates. And like, I've been to both of them. I know exactly where they are. I know what's surrounding them. And when I saw the church where they'd left Alden, like, I've been to that church. Like, it's so wild to see. Like, because I would not have known I wouldn't have remembered that she was going back for Alden if I didn't recognize it from my tour. So yeah, if you are ever in Sonoy, definitely go to the Georgia Tour Company. We took 3 tours with the Georgia Tour Company. 2 of them were 6-hour driving tours. We saw literally hundreds of locations. And then one was a 2-hour walking tour where we walked all over downtown Sonoy. And it's just so wild to like see it with your own eyes, and then you see it on the screen. You're just like, oh my God, I know exactly where that is. So anyway, if you're ever able to do that, you absolutely should do it because it's amazing. So anyway, really good start. I'm optimistic about the second third of the season, about 11B. I'm optimistic. That was a good opener. But you know, Walking Dead usually does good premieres and good finales, but it's the stuff in the middle that they're not always, that's not always as strong. So I hope that they keep it up. I have to admit that I'm just not really excited about the Commonwealth. And that's obviously like the main thing going on, and that's going to play a huge, like, that's probably the main story for the rest of the show. And I wish that I was excited about that. I hope that it's better than I think it's going to be. So, I mean, that's a bummer, but I want to be optimistic because it's the end, you guys. It's the end, and I want it to be amazing. I want the end to be amazing. So anyway, I'll think positively. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.